Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Great to have you with me here today. Looking forward to diving right into today's Friday review. Excited for today's show because last week we spoke about all my travel preparation, what I do for my family, for myself to stay healthy while traveling, while battling all these viruses people have. And, really getting into that show, all my go-tos. Also, last Friday, I spoke about mold markers, on how to find that on an organic acids test. We went over water purification. We went over non-toxic hair coloring systems. And today, now that I'm on vacation, I'm going to be able to spend 2 weeks with my family. Really excited about that. And a lot of things that I'm experiencing, right? A lot of things that I want to share with you that's been happening over the past week. So pretty exciting, all things that have, like I always say, have happened in the practice, happened in my own life, and I want to bring that, share that with you and the research behind a lot of those things. So right now, my family and I are in Hawaii, and it's one of our favorite places on earth. It is not easy for us to get to. It's a good 20-hour day, that first day to get here, about 13 hours or so in total flight time. And I've got 2 little girls. However, for whatever reason, they seem to be great on planes. So we're very grateful for that. My wife and I love to travel. And what I want to do is I want to bring you a lot of the things that I've either been studying, keeping up with, or things that I get to experience whenever I immerse myself in a different culture or place. I try to really, get into it. I look into the culture, the herbs, of course, all of the different forms of the ancient-based medicine. And for whatever reason, every year I come back with a couple books on plant medicine from the Hawaiian medicine culture. So I'll be getting into one of my favorite herbs that's used in the South Pacific quite often for anxiety and stress and also for sleep. So I can't wait to bring you that. But really, let's get right into the show. So the first thing that I want to talk about and answering a couple questions. When is the next community detox? If you've never done a community detox with us, I urge you to do one. It's a lot of fun. I post every day, or one of my team members posts at cabralsupportgroup.com. It's just a free private Facebook group for our community to get together, ask questions, support each other. But honestly, it's every 12 weeks. It's 7 days for all of us to get back on track, to hit the reset button, and to eliminate a lot of the stored toxins we've built up over the past season. So for us, at least here in the New England area, or basically everybody above the Atlanta, Georgia line in the United States, it's shifting from winter to spring. And when that happens, our body is able to, or hopefully releases a lot of stored heat. So stored heat is stored in the form of acids and other things within the body that we won't get into necessarily on today's show. I'm happy to talk about that in the future. But it's one of the reasons why we see a lot more allergies or a lot more respiratory issues in the spring, not just because of the pollen and other factors of the blooming outside that does go on. That's obviously a huge part of it. But our body needs to remove a lot of what's stored from the previous season. And we've seen that in every form of medicine except for conventional medicine, Ayurvedic, Hawaiian medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. You can go back in time to Greek medicine, Roman medicine, the same exact thing. We change herbs, we change foods, we move from a lot of the heating foods that we want for the winter, and then we move to a lot of the drying foods if it's a damp spring. So we're essentially balancing our body, right? We're looking to combat whatever that is. If we have high pitta because it's springtime and there's a lot of transformation happening in our body, and if you have a pitta style allergy, then you'll do things to lower pitta. If it's more water-based, congestion-based, then you'll do things that help with kapha, like our sinus support, or you could use something like Hispro. All of those things are great. But the reason why I do it is, multiple reasons. One is I love doing this as a community, and here's why, is that you have other people to help hold you accountable. So for me, I always tell people, listen, I've been doing every 12 week a 7-day detox for now 7 years. I believe it is the number one reason why I continue to feel more energy, stronger, more fit every year as time goes by. And that should not happen, right? That does not happen to most people. However, I've seen that happen in our private practice and then our community that we've been building over these past couple of years, without a doubt. Because you're also maintaining, meaning like you might not be perfect in life. I'm not perfect in life. I'm certainly not perfect on vacation. I'll tell you that. And this allows me to get rid of a lot of that when I come back from vacation. So it's very helpful. It's fantastic. I just love the energy. And I love inviting anyone who's interested in doing it to come along with us. We have a free smoothie report. We've got the Detox, obviously. You can check it out. We'll link it up today at the show. The show is stevencabral.com/1141 for today's show notes. I'll link up the Detox there. I'm going to keep it simple for anyone that's interested. All links will be there today. Real quick on this, since I'll talk more about this next week, but we've been asking, a lot of people did not get into the integrative health practitioner course and certification the last time around. We sold our 100 openings, which is what we look to do because we want to keep our group small. We want to provide a lot of support, and we like to do those live Q&As, especially for our new people. Every 4 to 6 weeks, we do that. Now they're going to be once a month because as our community grows, I want to be able to answer more questions for our integrative health practitioners, those people that want to learn it for themselves, their family, community, that's the course. And then those people that want to be certified so they can either do some part-time health coaching or they can become a full-time health coach. And we have people from all over the world. It's an amazing group. I mean, it really is. It's remarkable. So that will be starting April 1st. Again, it will be 100 openings. That's what we like to do. And we invite you to join us. You can just go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org, click the button at the top to be notified, and we'll send you an email when we do reopen. We don't do a lot of marketing for it. There's no hype behind it. We spend no money. It's word of mouth. That's how I like it. I want to, really invested community that's interested in learning about this and that I see as the future generation of health coaches out there. I really do. Being able to work on the entire spectrum of a human being. The whole de-stress protocol. So the diet, the exercise, the stress reduction, the toxin removal, the parasympathetic rest cycle the body needs, emotional balance, supplement protocols, and the success mindset. We teach all of that in level 1. So anyway, if you're interested in joining us, check out more about that. One more thing that my team put notes in, because I always forget about this. They just sent it over. Actually, this is probably like a half hour ago. Luckily, they did. Is that anyone that joins us and purchases a detox, whether it be a 7, 14, or 21-day detox. We love the 14 and 21-day for those people that need to get deeper wellness or weight loss-based results. We are sending our exclusive Pro Stack shaker bottles to you with each order. These are amazing. I literally have one at work, I have one at home, and then I have one in the car. I just keep an extra one. And this allows you to have 3 servings of powder and your capsules every single day. We built this specifically for the detox, but of course you can use it for everyday use as well. And a lot of people put like a serving of nuts in there, or they put a servings of berries for later in the day, but it has 3 compartments. Pretty remarkable stuff. So check that out. All right. That's all I want to do for updates for this week, what we have going on in the community. Again, even if you decide not to detox with us, and I hope you do, just check out cabralsupportgroup.com. Check out all the amazing comments, the people, the success stories, the struggles. We don't sugarcoat anything. We show people what it's like in the real world to get well, to lose the weight, and to turn back aging. And we do. I mean, this is real world. And that's how we operate. There's no hype. There's nothing like that. This is a real practice that now has been taken global and represents the largest functional medicine and integrative practice that I know of in the world. And so we just want you to join us. And that's absolutely free to join us over at cabralsupportgroup.com. All right, let's get into now a homeopathic product. So it's funny. Maybe you heard me talk about a couple weeks ago, why I don't use as much homeopathy in my practice. Well, there is a product, and we didn't have our typical colloidal silver drops. Whenever one of my daughters gets, let's just say, conjunctivitis or irritation in the eye or a viral infection in the eye, we use colloidal silver. We use a very specific brand that has a way to disperse the molecules to not have them agglutinate, basically clump together. Again, it's not our brand because we certainly don't specialize in colloidal silver, nor will I ever specialize in colloidal silver. So we have a great brand for you. We use it in our mold protocol specifically, but this one, and again, I'm not going to go too much into colloidal silver. If you're interested, you can actually see the brand just over at, why don't I just send you the links today? You can go to stevencabral.com/1141 or over at equilibriumnutrition.com and just type in mold in the search bar and you'll find the mold protocol. And that will give you information on it. The reason why I don't mention the brand names as much is because they may change 2 years from now, 3 years from now, but the information is evergreen, meaning like it will continue to be true because we're talking about true methodologies within the body. So the brand, though, I will mention today because it's the one that I used while we're traveling, and one of my daughters was in the pool and came out with an awful eye irritation. She's 4 years old. She's swimming in this chlorinated pool, which again, I don't love, my kids swimming in a ton of chlorine, but we're on vacation. They love it. They're having the time of their life. And so who am I to be standing in their way? So what we did, because her eyes were bothering her for the next 45 minutes, we went to a local, just a supermarket. And that's the nice thing. And I talked about this on last week's podcast. This is so important. You don't know where you're ever going to be, but if you know what to look for or how to look for it, you're able to pick out the right product that will help you, and you won't need to go the conventional medicine or pharmaceutical route. Now, if it's ever life-saving, of course, I understand. Yes, go for whatever is the needed product. No doubt about it. Whatever it is, whether it be antibiotics, etc., antidepressants, whatever is needed, I believe in it if it's life-saving. If it's not, what I want to do is the gentlest approach possible, the closest to nature as possible, and something that's not going to cause side effects on the other side. Meaning, I don't want to take a product that then causes side effects that you then need another product to deal with those side effects. That's essentially what medication is, right? So it's like we just build up all these side effects that we need to be then on more medications. So the homeopathic drops that we used, of course, I've used them. They're totally safe. Use them with my daughter, and it was remarkable. I was not expecting as much because I don't use them as much, but they got great results. So I always give due where due is deserved. Okay, so the product name, the brand name, you'll probably recognize it if you're into nutritional supplements, and it is Simulsin. Now, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I've seen this brand for 15 years, but honestly, I don't even know if that's the correct pronunciation, so I apologize. I am recommending the product, though, so hopefully they forgive me. It's Similsan, Simulsin. Someone I'm sure will correct me on Instagram, and you're welcome to. So give us the phonetic spelling if you'd like. I'm sure I could just look up a YouTube video on this, but I spend my time doing my podcast, and I'll let someone else correct my pronunciation if they would like. So it actually says right on it, pink eye relief, and it helps with redness, burning, watery discharge, sensation of grittiness. Now, again, if any of my girls, and they've only gotten them, I would say they each got it twice. And if they've ever gotten pink eye, conjunctivitis, we do use colloidal silver, sovereign silver is what we're using. And it works great. And so we've always done that. And honestly, you should always do what you feel is best for your family. But for us, we haven't needed any antibiotic ointments or anything like that, especially since it's typically viral based. So that's what we do. And again, it's always worked great. And how long do we use it? Well, we use it until the redness is gone, typically 3 times a day, or the conjunctivitis, pink eye, whatever you want to call it. And then we'll typically do it for just one more day. That's all. And that's the protocol. And it's always worked great for us, as well as those people that have decided to use it as well. All right. So what is in this product, though, this homeopathic product called Simulsin Pink Eye Relief? And I'll link to it in today's podcast as well. I'll just link right over to their website. So it has belladonna, and belladonna has potential effects for dryness, redness, burning sensation, or of grittiness. Hepar sulfuris, which is for redness and stinging, and Euphrasia officinalis, which is for watery discharge, also known as eye bright. So these are all things I studied on what almost seems like a former life, more than a decade ago, for homeopathy, and I was big into it and still am. Like, I respect all of the older forms of medicine, and around the 1900s, homeopathy was making up 25% of all doctors. It's just kind of been forgotten about it. And I've given my take on it previously. I'm certainly not against it, and I'll use anything that's natural that helps people get natural results. I mean, that's about being truly integrative. Some people just totally dismiss homeopathy, or totally dismiss Reiki or massage or acupuncture, or they just dismiss it right out of hand, and that's it. Well, I don't think that that's the way to be. It's really egomaniacal, and it's just too dogmatic. I think there's a lot of great in every form of medicine. Okay, so that is that. If you're ever in a pool, your kids get some really irritated eyes, this is a great product just to keep on hand. It's probably like $5 or $6 too. When you need to find something, you know what to look for. That's what it's all about. Okay, so the herb I want to talk about today, with some real research behind it that I've loved while being on the island. It's something that I've used, or not used, but it's a product that, of course, I've enjoyed for quite some time. But it's different when I'm here in Hawaii. We go to quieter parts of Hawaii. We don't do the big city. I live in the city. I don't need any more city. We live or we stay in just a more relaxed area. No, again, I'm not against casinos or anything like that. If people are enjoying that, I more power to you. I just enjoy quiet relaxation, being near the beach and the ocean, being able to walk with my shoes off. There's a pool that my girls can go to as well because, little kid doesn't love the pool. And it's just fun. That's what I'm all about. And it's also, since it takes so long to get here, you feel like you're on the other side of the world, which essentially you are. And for us, that's just, it's a nice change. And so that's why we do it. That's why we go. And we love it. And it's pretty relaxed for the most part. We don't do anything crazy. Normal breakfast. I have an acai bowl every day for lunch. And then we just do whatever we'd like for dinner. Okay, so one thing though is they do a really beautiful art night. And we take our girls to art night every Friday night. And they have music. Of course, there's art. It's a farmer's market. It's fantastic. Well, this one place is called the Kava Lounge. Give them a little shout out. So the Kava Lounge is literally, it's probably about a 5-gallon, maybe even more, probably more. Maybe it's a 10-gallon huge bowl of kava. And that's what it is. So kava is a root. Well, it's a plant. So it has the leaves, stems, and it's the root. And I believe it comes from the pepper family. And so one of the things I want to talk about with this is that kava has actually been studied for quite some time and has been known to be used for, and really well studied. So there's PubMed studies on this for generalized anxiety disorder. So it helps reduce anxiety. It helps with sleep, anything to do with nervousness. It's amazing for it. Well, with this lounge, they call it the lounge because you can sit down and have a drink. Now it's a non-alcoholic drink that they mix in a lot of kava. I'm going to talk about the dosage in a moment. But all they use is the ground root mixed with water. And then in the glass they put a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of black pepper, and a little bit of raw honey. And they just mix it together. Now, kava itself, it's a very earthy taste to it. It tastes like dirt. That's basically it. It tastes like a root. It's an acquired taste for sure. Now, some people are hyper responders to it, meaning like they get a great effect right away. I went with extended family last year. They came with us. Probably about half of the people felt it right away, and some people didn't feel too much. And some people get the little tingling of the tongue. That's normal as well because it actually works right on that nervous system. It almost works like a numbing agent for the tongue. And some people like that, some people don't. But from me, I'm a hyper responder to it, meaning like I feel it within minutes of having a couple sips of this tea. Now, tea is a generalized statement for this because all it is water mixed with the powder. And they have a big wooden bowl and a big wooden ladle, and they just give you this cup. So here's what it does though. Inside of the kava root are these things called kava lactones. They're plant-based compounds that help to reduce anxiety. They help with, again, any nervous system-based disorder. They help with joint pain, any type of anxiety, stress. It reduces that. And here's how. So it acts on the neurotransmitters in the brain. And neurotransmitters are things that they can provide focus, they can relax us, they can give us energy. But the neurotransmitter specifically that kava works on is GABA. And GABA is short for, it's just GABA. GABA is short for gamma aminobutyric acid, which really helps you decrease nerve cell or nervous system stimulation. So it gives you really instant relaxation. Why am I mentioning this to you? Here's why. As someone, being myself, who does not want to drink alcohol too often, this is a great alternative. This can give you that same relaxation effect. You can have it over ice. You can mix it up. You can mix it in other things. If you don't love the flavor, you can, mix it with a little bit of fresh pressed juice or however you want to do it. Now, here's the thing. They do about a tablespoon of kava per 8 ounces. That's a lot. And it's one of the reasons why you feel it pretty much right away. A typical capsule, like if you were to get this as a supplement, about 100 milligrams of kava. And if it's a standardized extract, which is about 30% kava lactones, that will give you about 30 milligrams. Now, keep in mind the dosage that I'm taking is about 200 milligrams, 250 milligrams. So that's a lot. I'm taking what would be the equivalent, again, if I'm just going by kava lactones, which is different, that's 30 milligrams, I'm taking taking about 7 to 8 times that. So the only way that you can get that is to have a larger amount. And so you might take somewhere around 3 or 4 capsules to 7 or 8 capsules. Now, that's a lot. Here's how I like to do it, and this is what I'm recommending for you. I always like people to start off much less. I like people to start off with being able to gauge their own amount. So you can use the capsules, and the capsules are great. There's nothing wrong with that. You can take them before dinner. You can take them after dinner just to relax. No problem with that at all. But if you wanted to make a tea post-dinner or even with dinner, then you could just do a teaspoon or even a half a teaspoon of kava powder. That is how I like to do it. I can gauge it, and then I can put in the amount that I want. You can always have a second cup if you want. So if you just use a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, you're not going to use that much. It's less capsules, of course, and you can do it that way. All right. One caveat to this, if you do want to try it, is that there are some studies, albeit not a ton of proven research behind it, that it could affect the liver and cause liver disease. So what I'm recommending is anybody with elevated liver enzymes or anyone with any potential for liver issues is not to use kava. Kava has actually been banned in some countries, and here's a reason why. Most people don't tell you this. A lot of companies, keep in mind, the supplement industry is, for the most part, a dirty business. It is. And that's why, it's hard because I want to provide people with the best products possible. But when you tell people, I offer people nutritional supplements, they said, you're in the supplement business. Well, no, we're in the business of helping people get well, to lose weight the healthy way, and to turn back aging. Like, that's what we want to do. Nutritional supplements are only one part of the de-stress protocol, those 8 parts that I talk about in the rain barrel effect. Well, here's the thing. A lot of the supplements that you buy on Amazon or you buy in most places, they're the cheapest version possible. So a lot of people are actually getting side effects because they were using kava taken from the leaves and stems. The leaves specifically are known to harm the liver. Well, ancient medicine knows this. Hawaiian medicine knows this. And here's what they do. Originally, back in the day, you would chew on the roots. I get deep into this because I love it. So I was speaking with the woman who makes this. It's her job. She makes all sorts of different kava treats and the kava tea. And so I was talking about, how do you make it and all of those different things. And she was happy enough. I mean, she loves sharing it. She loved that someone was actually interested. And, I told her what I do and all of those things. I don't think they ship products. They're a very local company, meaning like makes it out of her house. I'm pretty sure that that's not, wouldn't be legal here on the mainland. But anyway, what I was saying, with her is that they actually chewed on the roots. So I found a place that sold kava as just the roots and you would chew on it. Now, right away, your mouth starts to go numb and you feel the effects immediately. You're like literally chewing on the root. You are getting the exact extracts mixed with saliva. Do I recommend this for your average person? Absolutely not. I do things as an experiment because I love getting the most out of it and I know what I'm doing. I know the herbs. I've studied them, all those specific things. But this is something that you don't want to do. And I'm certainly not going to be continuing to chew on those roots. Now, you do get the effects right away. I'll take the roots and I will actually mix them, steep them with some tea after crushing them, and I'll get the effects of the kava that way. All right, so hopefully I've given you all of the links on kava. What I'll try to do is maybe link up a couple studies or a great article on kava as well. And again, you always want to look for kava root. Okay. Next week, I think I'll save a few things. I'll be coming back next week. I'll actually be back in Boston for that Friday, but I will link up maybe a couple of other fun things like the taro burgers out here, which we're trying to be more plant-based as well, and another Hawaiian medicine book I bought. So let me see if I can save those for next week. The last one I want to bring to you today is, I always try to bring it in with what I was talking about today. And every Friday, I'm going to be bringing you a different lab result so that you can learn more about it, especially if you're thinking about becoming an integrative health practitioner or taking the course. So I want to talk about B6. Now, last year, I did an episode on B6 and all of the different benefits. And on that show, I'd love you to go back and listen to it. We'll try to link it up here today, and you can find out all the different benefits and the dosages and how much is needed. But I want to talk about, besides the healthy skin, the detoxification, the improvement in mood, and the improvement in blood flow and oxygen and benefits for eye health and blood sugar, all those great things, all right? Beyond all of that, what I want to do is talk about how B6, we were talking about neurotransmitters earlier. We were talking about happy, feel good, calming neurotransmitters. Well, one of the things that is needed for that is vitamin B6, and it's overlooked. Typically, it's called pyridoxine or pyridoxal 5-phosphate. P5P is where you'll find it for a lot of good functional medicine quality vitamin B6. So if you're looking for good quality B6, it's typically going to say pyridoxine pyridoxine 5-phosphate, sometimes pyridoxine hydrochloride. Those are all more absorbable forms. We like the P5P form for the most part, and that's what's in our daily nutritional support on a daily basis, and it's what's in our activated B complex. So here's why it's important though. Vitamin B6 is, I've always said this since I've learned more about it. My mentor taught me this way back in 2007, 2008. She said B12 is great. Folate is great, especially for people with an MTHFR gene mutation. But B6 is what's overlooked. B6 is what's overlooked for the nervous system, for stress, for anxiety, and a lot of that then leads to the autoimmune or other neurological issues. So one of the reasons why is that B6 acts as a transporter or almost like an enzyme in a way to convert something such as 5-hydroxytryptophan into serotonin. So think of it this way. You take in tryptophan from foods, whatever it might be, and then we're converting that over to something the body can use, such as 5-hydroxytryptophan. And then your body's using items such as selenium on B6 to convert that then to usable serotonin. And a lot of this manufacturing happens in the gut, which eventually then makes its way through the blood where it's needed to the brain, all of that, right? That's how our neurotransmitters work, especially for serotonin, which is why we need good gut health and why we need good B vitamins and absorption. So that's why I mentioned that. But also, on an organic acids test, you want to do a couple things. One is you want to look at your oxalic acid levels. If that's elevated and you have a lower marker, and I'm not going to go through it in depth right now today, but a lower marker for the waste marker metabolite of serotonin, not serotonin itself, but the metabolite. If you have higher oxalate, lower serotonin, or even high levels, which I've never seen before in thousands and thousands and thousands of organic acids tests that we've run, and then you slide over to your vitamin section on the organic acid test where you look at all of your vitamins, your B vitamins, your vitamin C, CoQ10, you look at your N-acetylcysteine, you look at your biotin. And if your B6 is on the lower side there, lower normal on the graph, or it's low, then if you were to optimize your B6, you would most likely optimize your serotonin and your oxalate absorption or removal of the body as well. That is why you have to understand is the B vitamins. I know I'm going to go through this a lot more in the future, but the B vitamins are what so many people lack. And I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it again. It's because we are so stressed in our culture. We overwork, we overexercise, we overdo everything, and our body buffers our body with B vitamins, with zinc, with vitamin C, with glutamine. And if we don't have enough, our body systematically starts to break down. When that happens over time, we start to get more stressed, more anxious. We don't sleep as well. We have decreased drive, energy, endurance, libido, ambition. It's a gradual decline. People call it aging. Call it aging if you would like, but what I would love you to do is you can test your levels with an organic acids test, or better yet, a starter kit so you can get the organic acids test and the hair tissue mineral analysis combined and save a couple $100, but also that you understand that a lot of times what we call aging is a catabolic nature to the body. And I spoke about that previous on an Ayurvedic show, is that the body starts to get into more of a vata-based state. It starts to break down more because it becomes depleted. And you could say, oh, I'm turning 40, 50, 60, etc. Or you could just say, yes, over the decades, my body has become depleted. And it might become depleted because of like over-exercising. Exercise is great for you. Or it might be you've carried 2 children, 3 children, and they've taken a lot of the vitamins and minerals from your body as well. Or you had many nights of lack of sleep when you were in graduate school. And like all of these things, they just gradually add up over time, right? That's the rain barrel effect. That is what it is. So what I'm trying to show you is this, is that our body, we're not just a set of chemicals, but we're a living, breathing organism that needs its nutrients. And when you look at that, a B vitamin is not just for stress. Look, it helps with your neurotransmitters. It helps with oxalates. So that's why I'm very passionate about this. That's why I want to bring this to you. I thank you today for joining me here today on this Friday review. If you have any questions, please always do feel free to write into us. You can ask them at Cabral Support Group, and you can also tune back to previous podcasts, which is the best way to do it. Continue to build off any education that you might be receiving, and head on over to stephencabral.com/podcast. Type in any keyword you like, or better yet, just begin to start to listen to the podcast and get more of that functional medicine-based knowledge, that integrative health-based knowledge. Thank you so much. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow sharing our Cabral house calls where we answer our community's questions each and every weekend. Take care, everyone. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stephencabral.com/courses.